Of the new year of 2021. I hope everybody had a good holiday and a good Christmas and a good New Year's. I know the staff was well-deserved rest for them, although they've got a meeting set up for us today. It's not a real long meeting, but certainly we want to get off to a good start this year. And I'm hearing some good news, and maybe I'll bring it up now. We've been able to get the vaccine started. Public Health has got starting their vaccine program, and they got their first shipment in today. It was one day late, but that's good. We got it. And the next few weeks, we'll start seeing them get out to more of the healthcare workers, and hopefully, when we get the next the vaccine, the not the visor, but the next one, that we get out to the nursing homes and the residents. So that's where they're going to attack first. They're going to get after both those groups, and that will help us stem some of the concerns we've got, especially with our long-term care. And that's where it seems to be our outbreaks are these days. We're not doing too bad in Minto, where I think we have 4 active cases right now. Our neighbor has quite a few more in Wellington North, but most of those are from a long-term care situation. So that's where we're going to be concentrating in the next little while. But I'm feeling comfortable that we're at least moving down the path of by the end of September, we may be all vaccinated. That's what Justin Trudeau told me today. So I'm believing him all the way to the bank. So there we go. And so I'll call the meeting to order. Disclosure any peculiar interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Anybody get conflicts today? Nope. All right. Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor McKenzie, that the minutes for the December 15th, 2020 council meeting be approved. All in favor? Opposed, if any? None? Moving. Additional items. Has anybody got additional items? Jean, Dave? I'll just leave that open. You guys can let me know when you get there, okay? Moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Gudson, that the town of Minto convenes into the committee of the whole. All in favor? Passed. Okay, going forward, there's no public meetings, no delegations. Correspondence received. Anybody want to pull any of the correspondence? I have one item that I want to pull. If I could, I want to pull the Federation of Canadian Municipalities year in review. And I'm going to ask Matt, we're going to try a new technology thing. It was the Federation of Canadian Municipalities sent out a nice year in review and had a small video there that I don't know if you've had a chance to click on it or not, but I wanted to show it to the public. So if Matt could bear with us, it's a 3-minute video, and then anybody wants to discuss anything from that report, by all means we can. Matt, can you see if we can get that up and running?
every corner of Canada, in cities and communities of all sizes, thousands of municipal leaders are standing up for you, for your health, for your safety, for your quality of life.
FCM is working hard for municipal leaders across the country so they can continue supporting Canadians through this pandemic and be ready to build tomorrow's stronger Canada, because we really are all in this together.
Thanks, Matt. That's just a little tidbit. I know you get the reports from FCM, and I must say it's people like yourselves that create the opportunity for FCM to do the advocacy needed from the grassroots. And I take your message forward, but I get the message from both this council and from the county council as to what our needs and wants. And we get that directly from the taxpayers and our residents. So I'm pleased to be on that FCM, and I think they've done a pretty good job. As we know, when we went through our budget process this year, and we saw that what we got from the Ontario government and the federal government through some programs, I think 248,000, and then another 48 the other day. And then when you see Randy's notes here about some of the money that's coming for to the county as well, and through social services. That's all from us having a voice and going up and talking and saying to the federal government and the provincial government through the feds that we have needs and wants, and we can't do it on property tax alone. So I thought I'd just throw that out there, and then some of the people in the public that probably don't see what FCM does sort of gets an idea of where we're at and what we've been trying to do. Any questions? Okay, good. Thanks for bearing with me on that. And any other correspondence? If not, I will move by Councillor Anderson, second by Deputy Mayor Turton, that the town of Minto receives the correspondence for information. All in favor? Opposed? None. Thank you. Reports of committees and town staff matters. Okay, committee, we have the cultural roundtable, and I'll turn it over to Belinda for this. Go ahead, Belinda.
Yeah, I'm just getting my screen set up here. So happy New Year, everyone. And yeah, we're kicking off 2021, jumping right into our cultural plan stuff. The committee met right before Christmas to review the results of our survey. We had about 17 of our not-for-profit groups respond. So we quickly went through the results of that. As can be expected, revenues pretty much dropped across the board, varying amounts depending on the organizations. Nobody's really planning anything to offset that. A few groups did apply for some funding, but not too many. And going down the road, people are looking for the town to provide training around different online platforms, as well as a lot of help in terms of promotion when they can do events again. So the group is actually meeting again tomorrow to begin putting together some sort of an action plan that can help our groups. The other thing we should note is there's just want to make it clear in the request from the Hairston Historical Society, the request wasn't for $2,500. That's what the group needs to produce their book, the Beyond Harrison's Boulevards. So there was some confusion that they were looking for all that money from our group, which was not the case. So I think that publication is going well, and the group decided we were going to look at a request as part of our request across the board for all of the groups. So again, that will be looked at tomorrow. Is brought up back at this meeting about our People of Color Committee that kind of got not off the rails, but pushed off last year. And we're going to look this year at bringing something forward again and moving that forward because it's still important. Also interesting to note, this will be our 10th year since we've had our cultural plan, and looking at an opportunity to partner with Wellington North and possibly Mapleton in updating our plans and looking for some cost savings there. And those are kind of the highlights from this meeting. If there's any questions.
David?
Yeah, it's not really a question. It's just a statement. Belinda, sorry about your window.
Oh yeah, it was wild.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, so it's just getting off the cultural roundtable a little bit here, being downtown and talking to different people about all the things that you and your committee is doing. Just want to make sure that you get thanks from this council on all that work that you're doing, reaching out to all of our business people in the community. I know that they appreciate that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, business retention expansion has always been a priority for us.
Mhm.
And even more so in 2020, it was a focus, and it will continue to be a focus in 2021, making sure our business community is aware of all the things that are programs that are available right now, and racking our brains, try to figure out what to do next to support them going forward. So
Yeah. And Belinda, I'm looking forward to, oh, go ahead, Ron, go ahead.
Just want to mention that that book you were talking about, Councillor McKenzie, was probably the most creator and did most of the work on that book, and I've seen it. It's just fabulous. So
Yep, no, it looks great.
yeah,
and sales are going strong, I believe. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Lots of sales over Christmas there, Councilor McKenzie.
Sold out now.
Are you sold out?
Sold
Excellent.
out. May have to do another printing.
Oh, that's good.
We
That's
can bank
excellent.
More money.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
No, that was a good timing. It was good timing. Yeah, and I just want to say that I hopefully tomorrow, when we have the opportunities, tomorrow we do this.
Yes, tomorrow night. Yeah.
Tomorrow night. Then we can come back to this council with some recommendations. The survey results were quite interesting, and they came back, and it's interesting to see what the needs are out there and where we can help, because we don't want to lose any of these groups that make up our cultural groups, and certainly we want to look to see what we can do to help in any of those situations. And we had a county call this morning on the BRNE. Belinda blew the socks out of the water. 425 BRNE's surveys done in, I think it was 425, something like that, and 114 in Minto. So we were by far twice as many as everybody else. And that's her relationship building that she has with her businesses. And that when she goes out for a survey, people want to listen. And we're going to be coming from the county, and hopefully the town can participate in some of these recommendations that come out of the BRNE and where we're going to get ourselves rolling again next year. So, but we want to make sure these cultural groups stay whole. Go ahead, Glenn.
Just on the survey, I didn't do it all myself.
No, I know.
Some
Yep.
in the chamber are super supportive, and it's just a benefit of our partnership with the chamber as well.
Definitely a team group. Okay, any more further comments? If not, I have a recommendation moved by Councilor McKenzie, second by Councilor Elliott. The Council of Town of Minto receives the Cultural Roundtable Committee minutes of December 16th, 2020, and approves any recommendations contained therein. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, next up is you're doing a staff report on the signage. I think, Belinda, you're up next.
Yeah. So if you recall, I think it was back in November, New Orleans Pizza brought forward a facade application request, and the committee approved that. And there's a bit of a language barrier, and when a signage request came in at the same time, and it was my understanding that it was going to be a backlit sign, which is the one thing that we don't fund for signage. And then the sign went up, and I was like, oh man, this is not a backlit sign. This is something that we would fund. So I went back to Mr. Lee and explained to him that this is eligible. So I brought it back to the Economic Development Committee, and they all love the look of the new sign. And we were able to move ahead a recommendation right before Christmas to support that signage grant for $1,000. He was also planning actually another sign on the other side that said submarines, but because this signage grant falls into 2021, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to apply again for this other sign because you can only have one application per program a year. So that is unfortunate. The language barrier and how the quote was written looked a little different than how the sign actually was. So anyway, the committee's really supportive of this, and hopefully you are as well.
Okay. questions? Okay, I have.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The
go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
backlit, does that mean, looking at the picture, Belinda, where it says pizza, would there be a light in there to really
Yeah.
make it shine?
So that's it's a little bit different, right? So like what we're talking about backlit is like total, complete, like backlit sign. Like if it was like totally like backlit, like New Orleans on yellow and then backlit from behind like that, that's what would not be eligible.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a really nice looking sign.
Yeah, the building has really become really a nice looking building with all the siding in it as well. So, okay, I've got a recommendation. When I find it here. Moved by Councillor Gudson, second by Councillor Dirksen. The Council of Town of Minto receives the January 5th, 2021 report from the Business Economic Manager regarding signage improvement grant number H27 for $1,000. The property located at 94 Alora Street South, Harris, New Orleans Pizza, and recommends the Council of the Town of Minto approves the grant. All in favor? Opposed? None. Okay. Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor Turton.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bridge. We've got a couple items today from the Treasury, and I think Treasurer Duff is going to talk on our acting revenue coordinator, Janet Klem's behalf, to talk about the interim tax levy bylaw. So go ahead, Gord.
All right.
Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year to Chair Council and everyone else. Here we are, 5 days in already. We did that. So as the chair said, we just have a couple of fairly routine items that we start the year off with every time. So the first is our interim tax bylaw, and that gives us the authority to send out the interim bills, and they're based on 50% of the tax levy for a property for 2020. And as you'll note, we're relatively consistent with our due dates. It's near the end of March 29th and May 27th. And we'll keep to that going forward. So, and we have a bylaw coming up later.
Exciting stuff. Does anybody have questions for Gord? So this is moved by Mayor Bridge, second by Councillor Anderson, that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the report from the Acting Revenue Coordinator dated December 18th, 2020, regarding the 2021 interim tax bylaw, tax levy bylaw, and further that the Council of the Town of Minto considers passage of the related bylaw in open session. No other questions? All in favor of this motion? Against? That's carried. The second item then is the 2021 temporary borrowing bylaw. So Gord, go ahead.
Sure. Again, this is an annual item, something our banker always likes to see. So this again gives us authority to basically do a bank overdraft if we ever needed to. And thankfully we made it through 2020 without having to do that. And I hope we can do that again. But we should have this in place no matter what. And again, it's based on the previous year's tax revenue and other collections. So, and it also has a bylaw coming up later.
Questions for Gord? So this one's moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the report from the Treasurer regarding 2021 temporary borrowing bylaw, and further that the Council of the Town of Minto considers passage of the related bylaw in open session. It sounds a whole lot like the last one, Gord.
Very similar, but not exactly the same.
So we have mover and a seconder. All in favor of this? Against? That's carried. Thank you. And I'll thank you very much, Gord. And I'll pass the chair back to our mayor.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Turton. And next up, we've got clerk's appointment bylaw, and I'll turn it over to Annalene.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. So this is something that we consider each year, any changes that we might see to our appointments made. This year we have very minor changes. To PRAC, we now have a vacancy, and as well to the Minto Trails Committee, we do have some new members on that. Due to COVID, of course, the committees have continued to meet via remote participation. And I know that there are some that still have to meet, like the Minto trees, and that is being worked on. And the agendas will be posted on the town website, and the public will be invited to view the meetings, very similar to our council meetings.
Okay. Any questions for Annaleen? Okay, I've got a moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Gudson, that Council of the Town of Minto receives the January 5th, 2021 report of the clerk regarding updating the appointment bylaw and considers the bylaw in regular session. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, good. Other business, additional business, and I didn't write everything down. So if any Deputy Mayor Turton, you had something?
Yeah, so I just wanted to congratulations to Mr. Councillor Mackenzie. I mean, we purchased one of his books, and my friend next door, Don, has been around for a lot longer than I have, and he was absolutely, both of us, in fact, quite a few of us, we only bought one book for two families, and that's likely wrong. But
no, you
I'm
needed
glad
to because there was short supply. There's short supply, as it turns out.
I'm glad you're sold out, but I'm sure there's more coming. And I just wanted to tell you, Mark, that it obviously took a lot of time and effort on your behalf and your committee, whoever else helped you. And it's very interesting. It's pretty interesting to read through the pages and realize the history in the houses and stuff. And good for you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Deputy Mayor. Just the building we were just talking about for the sign is 150 years old this year.
Yeah. And Mark, just on that, I thought of myself, and I thought that your dad would have been so proud of you to do that too. Because if I always remember when I first moved back to town and your dad lived across from my dad and took me over and showed all his history that he had, it certainly has gone on to you and to Kim in certain ways. And you've been involved in history from day one, and it's great to have people like yourself in the community.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge.
Okay, who else had their hand up? Judy, I think you had your hand up. No, was it Ron, and then I think Jean. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do a sales thing here.
A sales thing.
Lions have our annual lottery draw. It's our biggest fundraiser, and it's changed. We used to have a dance, we could mingle, we could go to people's doors and knock on them, and people run trips. But this year with COVID, we thought better of not having a trips. And I actually like the format better. I'll give you a bit of a rundown. First ticket will get $100. Every 50th ticket will get $50. 200th ticket will get $600. 400th ticket, we get $700. 500 tickets, $2,000. 600 ticket, $2,500. Fifth last ticket drawn, $100 gift certificate to the Northern Theatre. Fourth last ticket drawn, $500 gift card to Foodland. Third last ticket drawn, $500 gift certificate to Harrison Packers. Second last ticket drawn, $500 gift card to Home Hardware. And our last ticket drawn will get $3,000 cash.
Wow.
So it's a great thing. We're going to do it on draw on Facebook Live on the 13th. And I think we're starting at 7 and we'll go to 11 as we draw it out. We have a bin there, and that's the safest way we thought of running it. And obviously we need this to go because this is the heart of our Lions, and so we can put it back into our community. That's why I thought it was okay for me to do this, because it's all part of our community. So if you know anyone that wants it, or if anybody wants to purchase one, let us know, and that would be great.
All right. Well, Ron, I put one down for me.
Okay.
I'll come and get you. Yep, no problem. Every year I haven't won yet, but I think don't we have somebody from the council that won something last year? I don't want to bring it up again, but I just
Mark
you
and
did,
Jean
Jean did, and
yeah.
I think Councilor McKenzie did, I think. Did you not? Was it? Oh, maybe I'm
We
wrong.
weren't able to use it, Mr. Mayor.
Comment though, that we weren't able to take our trip. We
Oh.
still had, we had to go back and credit everything,
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
right? Because of COVID. We were booked to
So
leave.
sad. So sad, Gene.
Really,
Yeah.
thank you. The sympathy is overwhelming.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, yeah, that's right. That's right. Anyways,
We'll be able to
it's
use
a
it.
great thing, and you don't have to dance, so that's good for me.
So
Bad
you don't
news.
have to, these are all quite capable of handling these.
Yeah,
You might have
great.
to wait to get into the store with COVID, but
Right.
I think so.
Thanks, Ron.
Right.
Gene, did you want to do an update on your Christmas thing, or?
I just wanted to thank everybody that participated and helped. The staff were amazing at helping us get things set up at the arena. It all went off relatively trouble-free. We kept our volunteers to a minimum. The outpouring of support once again from the community was amazing. Almost all the food was donated. And we have cash donations. We haven't totaled them up yet, but somewhere in the region of $4,000,
Nice.
which is amazing because it was half the number of dinners. But the people got a very generous dinner because we went through the same amount of food. So I think they had enough in their dinners to feed like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
The dish, David was dishing up.
Yeah.
But it went really, really well. We had people outside helping bring folks up, and they just called their number inside. People went out and took the meals out to them, so it was completely contactless from the people's perspective. Got lots of positive feedback by emails and messages. And once again, and some of the sponsors, Eric Cox helped, Gray's helped, the bakery in Palmerston, lots of donations from everybody. It's just such a really good community thing. It's unfortunate we couldn't get people together, but at least we got some meals delivered out to people and they had some sort of contact.
Great for you, Gene. Great. Well done.
Very good.
Anybody else got anything that they wanted to? Derek, did you want me to bring up or did you want to talk about it? And then I will, I've got a resolution here on it. If I think that's where we're going to bring up this extra meeting.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a reminder to council that staff want to bring forward the Harrison flood mitigation report. As you know, it's been, I think, over 12 months worth of work, and it's quite an extensive report. It's over 600 pages. And staff felt that to give it its due, that we would like to do it a special meeting of council to go through the report with you, with all the partners that have helped us get there. And the report will be presented to you for information and to hear your feedback. And then we will bring a subsequent report back for the approval of the recommendations. So I think, Mr. Mayor, you have a resolution there to add an additional meeting in January, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any, members of council.
Yeah, so I'll read the resolution, then we'll have a discussion over it. The Council of the Town of Minto meet on Tuesday, January 26th, 2021 at 7 p.m. to consider the final Harrison flood mitigation study. So questions? I think it's a good opportunity. I understand that it might take us a few hours to go through that whole thing, although the big executive summary, but it might be better to do it off of a regular meeting because it could be a fairly lengthy if we put it on a regular meeting. So is everybody all right with that Tuesday though, first of all? Deputy Mayor Turton.
Yeah, so Derek, are you going to send that out long before the 26th? So that we can read it, have a look at it before the meeting?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Deputy Mayor Turton. Absolutely. There'll be a link provided to you within the next few days that will take you right to the report. Clearly, we don't expect you to print 636 pages. But yes, we'll provide the link to you within the next few days. So you'll have it a couple of weeks before the meeting.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a long time coming, but because of all our situations last year, I think it's good to get it out and get this report going as soon as possible. Okay, so is everybody all right with the date? Okay, so can I have a mover? Annalene, I'll get a mover and a seconder for that. Mover, Deputy Mayor Turton, second by Councilor Gudson. All in favor? And we'll get that out to you. And you know, if you're reading through it and you have any questions, I'm sure Derek, the staff will try to answer them as we go. Don't save them all up to the end. If there's some things that just want clarification, by all means, give the staff a call through you, Derek, or
Yeah, absolutely. We would encourage that. If you
Yeah.
want to send me questions, I can direct them to the appropriate staff. Remember, we've got multitude of partners on this one. So
Yeah.
we've got Dietrich, we've got Triton, we have
Maitland.
Maitland. So we've got a number of partners. So if I can help streamline the response to your questions, I'd happy to do so.
Okay, great. Super. Because I'm sure there'll be some questions because, as I say, it's been a while since we read it all. Okay, good. Anybody else? Oh, Judy, do you have something?
No,
No.
sorry.
All right. Okay. My motion here. I gotta grab my sheet here. Moved by Councilor Anderson, second by Deputy Mayor Turton, that the Committee of the Whole convenes into regular council meeting. All in favor? Carried. No notice of motion. Any notice of motion? Seeing none. Moved by Councilor McKenney, second by Councilor Elliott, that the Council of Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor? Carried. Bylaws. Moved by Councilor Gutson, second by Councilor Dirksen, the bylaw number 2021-01 to provide an interim tax levy on all assessments within specific tax classes and to provide a penalty and interest rate for taxes in default be introduced, read first, second, and third time and passed in open council to seal with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Deputy Mayor Turton, second by Councilor Anderson, that the bylaw number 2021-02 authorizing a temporary borrowing of monies to meet the current expenditures pending receipt of current revenues of the Corporation of Town of Minto be introduced, read first, second, and third time and passed in open council to seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Elliott, second by Councilor McKenzie, the bylaw number 2021-03 for the purpose of appointing municipal councilor members and citizens of Town of Minto be introduced and read first, second, and third time and passed in open council and seal with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Dirksen, second by Councilor Gunson, the bylaw number 2021-04 to confirm the actions of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Minto respecting a meeting held January 5th, 2021 be introduced, read first, second, and third time and passed in open council and seal with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Anderson, second by Deputy Mayor Turton, that the Council of Town of Minto adjourns to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor of that one? Good. Thanks for the meeting, everybody. A good meeting, and I'm sure the next one will be a little longer. But take care and have a safe time.